Hello, this is The Way of Fairness. My name is Stephen Childs. I was just doing a search for info on the support for the narcissist. So I asked, what is the personality of the narcissist flying monkeys? And I found something. I'll show you. The flying monkey, understanding the role of enablers in narcissistic abuse. A flying monkey is a term used in the context of narcissistic abuse to describe individuals who support and enable the abuser. They act as allies or enablers of the narcissist, often carrying out their manipulative tactics and furthering their agenda. I feel like I'm being watched. I think it's the flying monkeys that are watching me. Here's another video on Flying Monkeys, the Narcissist Army of Goons. Carla Corelli, Healing After Narcissistic Abuse. This is her website. It reminds me of the monkey paw thing. There was something that they cut off monkey paws. So that's abuse of animals. So what I've realized is that the power from the animals and from all life itself that is beat into submission. So like you have a dog or any kind of life form, and it's to protect itself, it takes the side of the one who's abusing it for not taking that side. So you either support this violent, abusive, narcissistic, thoughtless, heartless human, or you're in big trouble because you'll be tortured. It's like training slaves to work for the slave master, for the cracker, the whip cracker. So the black people call the slave masters crackers. And I noticed it with dogs, so that dogs have this network, this telepathic connected mind with other life. All life has this telepathic connected collective mind, collective consciousness. Carl Jung talked about it, but he didn't include the animals that are non-human animals. We're just one of the animals on planet Earth. So when I make a lot of headway in defeating unfairness through dreams and through my videos and blog posts, then they fight back really hard. Life fights back at whatever's threatening it. It's not moral. It's amoral. It's neither right nor wrong. It's just trying to survive. So first of all, they try to survive. And then the morals come after that, if there are any. I don't know what kind of morals are saying a smallpox virus. Probably not. They're just so primitive. They're not even a complete cell. So once you get to the level of something with a brain and nerve system, then this probably applies. But what's weird is I caught on to this just by cleaning the sink, and it's like some force fought back because I was trying to kill these germs, and I could sense it. I could sense this force, this life force fighting me from killing it. And why would I sense that? Maybe it was something instructing me that does have consciousness and intelligence that wanted me to experience that. See, I don't know. So I'm sensitive to feeling energy waves. I just felt an energy wave that kind of pushed my head over. That's probably it. That's probably this life force thing. Maybe it's that it's a network of people that want to have power over nature. So they could be Wiccan, for instance. And so they want all the humans to be ruled by Mother Nature. And so I'm harming Mother Nature, so it's going to try to fight against me in an attempt to get me to surrender to this force that wants control over me. So it really doesn't have anything to do with mindless germs. It has to do with me domesticating turkeys or sheep or goats or etc. with punishment, like domesticating an oxen to plow a field with punishment. And then we have trauma bonding that happens because you love bomb the dog or the horse, and then if it doesn't do what you want, and if it's mean, you throw it down on the ground and put some black plastic over it and beat the hell out of it till it gives up. I've heard of people doing that. So the way that people train animals is really despicable to me. And I grew up training dogs, horses, and they don't seem to get that you need to care about that animal. And they intentionally try to cause this trauma bond so that it's afraid of you, and then if it's afraid of you, you reward it. So it's trained to not do anything you don't want it to do. So that's what happens with the flying monkeys. The support, the enablers of the narcissist that is the ruler of the outfit, of the corporation, of the religion, of the government faction, and all these enablers do the bidding of Donald Trump, for example, or Joseph Stalin, or Adolf Hitler, or Ivan the Terrible, or Vlad the Impaler. So there's always religion in human affairs. There's always religion, and the religion that says it has all power. I'm feeling some energy shift right now. And so you have people that are working within that system of all power, and they're trying to become the one with all power. I've listened to several podcasts on Parcast while I was driving truck, Parcast, and it was called The Dictators, and it had modern dictators and it had older dictators, and then it mentioned Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, I think, the fascist dictator in Italy. And there you go. It's in Italy where Rome is. And so they use that blueprint of someone who has all power. And they're thinking, that's what I want to do. And so they go for it, and they don't have conscience because they're sociopathic or narcissistic. or something, to where they don't care about harming others. They justify it to become the one that has all power in that area. So Vlad the Impaler became Christian in a Ottoman Empire area, Muslim. And he would terrorize the enemies. They were probably Muslims for the most part. That he was more vicious than they could ever be. And he would impale those who opposed him by sticking them, putting their body on a stake in the ground, up through their rear end area, into their pelvic region. They're still living, and they can't get off, and they die impaled. So that was like a warning. People would see impaled humans, and they would surrender to Vlad the Impaler. Vlad Dracula. Isn't that weird? His last name's Dracula. So I'm assuming that he was narcissist or sociopathic, like extreme narcissism. These narcissistic leaders, they can't do anything without enablers. And so I'm interested in the personality of the enablers. Well, they have an authoritarian personality. So they naturally gravitate to finding some extreme narcissist leader that they want to side with as authoritarian personality people, so that they're protected by the narcissistic leader. Because the authoritarian personality is such that it attacks any opposition to the system that it is supporting. And it's supporting some authoritarian ruler that was one of their parents originally, that was abusive, and they couldn't have any feelings. They couldn't show feelings. All the pain they had to keep inside. They're always like walking on eggshells, as they say, carefully not to disturb the narcissistic parent. It might be the mother or the father. And then inevitably the siblings, one of the siblings ends up in the narcissistic role. So they're all protecting this mean, cruel person. We can never upset that person. So they learn how to support a narcissist so that they're safe. If the narcissist is getting nervous, they're not safe. So they find the problem, find who's making this leader of ours nervous, and destroy that whatever. We must stop that. We have to get that under control. And it's what they do is they want to get you to surrender to the narcissistic leader also and join with them. So they have the idea that to be free, they have to have their leader in control. And if their leader's in control, then people that don't want to be under his thumb lose their freedom. So we're fighting for freedom to do what we want. And if you have a narcissistic leader and he tells you you can do whatever you want, you can. You can rape people. You can capture people and make them slaves. It's like anything goes. They don't have any other morality other than protecting the narcissistic leader. That's the only morality. So they can do whatever they want. So whatever the narcissistic rules are that the leader sets up, that's what they have to do. They have to comply with that. And they cook the books. They lie about what happened. If one of the supporters of the narcissist does something, it's hushed up. Nobody's allowed to talk about it. So the person doesn't get in trouble for it. So you have the people under Hitler that did these horrible things to the Jews, killed 6 million Jews and others. Genocide was not just against the Jews. And Arendt, I posted a video that I found yesterday that she calls it the banality of evil. It's like system. It's like ordinary status quo behavior is what evil is. That's what it was under Hitler. There's a lot of psychological studies. The Milgram study, where authority, they'd turn up the voltage on the punishment for the person forgetting something so that they would learn to not forget. They were told this is helping them. And the authority that was actually a psychiatrist doing this study told them to turn it up to the death level in this case, and they would. And the actor is playing like he's screaming and shouting, and it's all an act. Interesting study. I think it was Milgram. I might be confusing it with someone else. There's the trying to think. They played like they were prison guards, and the prison guards became extremely abusive to the prisoners on their own, just because they were in a role. So they're playing a role, and they really started hurting people. There's the psychological study of the brown-eyed children and the blue-eyed children. And the blue-eyed children were told by the teacher that they're good, the good people, and the brown-eyed people are not good people. And so they just was told that occasionally. And the blue-eyed people started becoming very abusive to the brown-eyed people. These are children. Humans know how to do this from the day we're born. We know how to become abusive. Alice Miller grew up in Nazi Germany, and she could not believe the people she knew became Nazis and started becoming extremely cruel to the Jews, and she was shocked at how they behaved. And so she started writing books, Drama of the Gifted Child, for your own good, Hidden Cruelty in Child Rearing and the Roots of Violence is the subtitle. So she realized you need to have a trained witness to support the abused person that is there to explain what they did to you was wrong. You were not wrong. You had no choice. They did wrong to you. Because the child blames himself for causing the narcissist problems. So our world is ruled by narcissists in leadership positions. And they're supported by authoritarian personality people that we call flying monkeys because of the Wizard of Oz show. So I'm thinking right now I'm going to stay focused on the enablers of cruel leaders and just continually support the people that are trying to stop them from abusing us. That's what we're about. Team Fairness, that's what we're for. We need to get all the humans to realize we don't want that. So it's very important that the enablers of cruel people, or people that have a system that they're fair to their own group but they're not fair to everyone, racist, and they're supremacists. I happen to think that any tribe can be a supremacist. There can be a supremacist faction develop in any of the tribes, any of the skin colors. So there is superior and inferior. We're not all the same. We count the same, but we're different. So some of us are more fair to animals and to each other, different skin-colored people, than others. So superior is when you're not unfair to other life forms. That's what superior is. So if there is a supreme being, by my definition, this supreme being should be the most fair of all. It's called perfect justice. And then you have the hypocrisy in the religions that tell people to go and capture slaves. And you can beat them as long as they don't die for at least 2 days. They can die after 2 days, and then you're scot-free. You haven't broken the law because you own the person. And they had sex slaves. And this is the Old Testament I'm talking about. And the New Testament is guilty also of being abusive to people that have not surrendered to Jesus as their Lord. My teeth are hurting. Isn't that weird? I'm getting teeth pain. So it's fighting me. It's just weird how it can put pain in our bodies. It's like, if you don't surrender to us, we're going to put more pain in you. And so I have to have the presence of mind and the tenacity to have the thoughts that I don't care how bad they torture me. I don't care how much they threaten people I love. I am not surrendering to people that are unfair to others, ever. People that are fair have more power. But in order to get it, you have to take a stand against unfairness to be given this power. So you can't be silent about it. It's like, if you really want to stop the unfairness, donate money to my cause, which is to help you stop others from harming you. Why are you not donating to Team Fairness? It's an investment in a future where people are not abused. What is stopping people from investing money in this? Maybe they're getting toothaches. Maybe they're getting hit with crap every time they think about it. So this unfairness is shutting them down. I would like to know. Have a great day.